Well, hello, and welcome to the Digital Factor,
Hey,
powered by
Kelly.
WSI. Hi, guys.
How's it
Hello.
going, Kelly?
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs, and I'm really happy to be joined by my colleagues, John Maniatis, Vic Sharma, and Jim Filatico. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Hey
Glad to
there.
be,
Great to be
Um,
here,
glad to
Kelly.
be back.
yeah, same. This episode of the Digital Factor, powered by WSI, we wanted to talk about an essay that Bill Gates wrote in 1996. The essay was entitled Content is King, which was published on the Microsoft website. Here we are 25 years later, and I think we all agree content is, in fact, still king. Correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sure. Absolutely.
Well, I think it would be great for the audience if we really define content. When we talk about content, what exactly are we referring to? And Jim, I'm going to toss that question over to you.
Okay. Thanks, Callie. Yeah, just to set a basis. Um, our definition, according to Wikipedia anyway, is content is the information and experiences that are directed toward end users or audiences. Types of content can include text, video, audio, and images. Some examples of content are blogs, listicles, which is a fun word to say, but it's basically just an article that has lists or made up of lists, ebooks, infographics, video, how-to guides, and case studies. Well, that's great, but why is it important? Here's a few stats. 76% of consumers, when looking for a service or product, do not already have a vendor in mind. So they don't know your brand necessarily. They're not looking for your brand. 70% of people would rather learn about a company through content rather than advertising. 82% of consumers feel more positive about a company after reading custom content. And 60% of people are inspired to seek out a product after reading content about it. So what does that mean for us as business people? Content helps small businesses become highly visible to their target audience. By writing, publishing, and distributing content regularly, you build credibility, authority, and trust before ever trying to sell anything to that target audience. When you create and publish content that has value, you stand out from your competition. Your business becomes a resource for quality educational information that will help them make a purchase decision. So that kind of sets the base for why content is still king.
Yeah, those are all important points. The one that stuck out to me the most there that you talked about, Jim, was I think you said 70% of people
Mhm.
would rather engage with your content than see an ad. I think that's super important because people just want a quick sale, but that kind of alludes to the fact that you can use content to build a relationship and have you and kind of introduce yourself on your own terms to someone. So that stuck out to me. Anything stick out to you, Vic?
Yeah, so I mean, really interesting stats, Jim. So the one that stuck out to me was that 60% of people were inspired, right? To me, the word inspired, right? To seek out the product, right? So if you think about it, that's like the holy grail, where people are inspired to take an action, to really learn more about your product, right? And when I think about it, what could be better than that, right? And all of this kind of makes sense, right? Because you're making that emotional connection with your customers, right? And the saying that comes to my mind right now is, we buy emotionally and justify intellectually, right? So
Mm,
making that emotional connection is critical. So that's a stat that stood out to me.
that's a great one. I like that. And what about you, John? Anything stick out?
Yeah, when Jim was rattling off that list, it reminded me of the general ubiquitous nature of content. If we just look at video content, for example, videos all over YouTube, it's one of the most prized types of mediums to use when you're expressing content. But you can also take those videos and publish them on your website. You can transcribe your video and publish it as an article on social media platforms, or again, on your website. Or you can rip the audio from that video and make it a podcast, which we all know Google now displays right on the search engine results page. So again, use your content in many, many ways.
Well, you threw a big SAT word on us, ubiquitous.
Google that.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll keep it to a minimum. Yeah.
But okay. So then we've all agreed that content is king. So if then content is king, I'm going to throw a question out to you, and it's a fill in the blank. And actually, I'm going to ask the audience to join in if they want to and put it in the comment. But if content is king, then blank is queen. Let's say, ask it one more time. If content is king, then blank is queen. And Vic, I think I'm going to go with you because I'm loving your background, and I feel like I'm just going to.
Thank you, Kelly. Look, 25 years later, and we're still talking about content is king, right? So if content is king, then to me, storytelling is queen, or being able to tell a good story is queen, right? So, recently I read this Stanford University study. In this study, they analyzed business pitches, and this is what they found, right? They found that people recalled 5% of the statistics, the numbers, right? While they remembered 63% of the stories, right? And so the recall, right, for stories, if I do my math, is roughly 12 times greater, right? And if you think about it, that makes sense, right? And it makes sense because we all like good stories, right? So being able to tell a good story is a great way to get attention to your product, to your services, right? So you as a business person, right? What does it mean for you as a business, right, of trying to connect with your customers? And how do you make this real, right? So my thoughts here are this, right? So work on crafting that emotional, compelling story, right, that talks about who you are, what you're about, right? Makes things real, right? And I'm going to give you an example in a minute about making it real, right? And what you're doing is you're starting to build that, I call it in this virtual world, that virtual trusting relationship, right? And you guys have heard me before about, trust is the new currency, right? So, once you've built that trust, right, then you have created the opportunity to ask for their business, right? And this is because we buy from people we trust. So now to talk about that timely story, right? It's Thanksgiving week, right? So I was on the internet earlier this week searching for a Thanksgiving recipe, right? And I stumbled onto this up and coming chef, and the way she talked about it was she didn't just have the recipe; she really built a story around the recipe, right? How that recipe had been passed down from generations to generations, and how that recipe and the dish has kind of brought the family together. Right? I spent 15 minutes, I kid you not, just reading that story because it was something that I could relate to myself, and I was engrossed. Right? So, the chef also, oh, by the way, was promoting a couple of products, right? And so by sharing this vivid, engaging story, guess what she's doing, right? She's building that relationship of trust with me, all right? Am I more likely to buy products that she recommends? Heck yeah.
Yeah. Those are all important points. And I see that we are getting a couple of comments in. And so far, we've gotten if content is king. Jita says context is queen. Ebony is saying that branding is queen. And another user is saying messaging is queen. I can't argue with any of them. But I will say what interesting, Vic, as you were telling your story, you started out with a statistic. I can't tell you what the statistic was, but I will remember your recipe story and how they used it to sell products. So I like the storytelling. So then, here's one of my students is actually commented. So I'm gonna go to him real quick. He said he would say content, but the actual target marketing would be queen. I like it. You're a good student. I'm gonna give you some extra points there, DeMar. All right, now, so Jim, I want to toss it over to you. If content is king, then blank is queen.
I'm going to say stats is queen. No, I'm joking. I'm going to say engagement is queen. And the reason I say engagement is queen is it's a key metric that all B2B companies use for their marketing. So what does that mean? engagement. It's how you engage with your potential customers and your customers on social media. You need to post regularly. You need to post where they want you to be, where they're going to be. When you post, you want to make sure you're educating people, and you want to comment on their posts, and you don't want to thumbs up, and you don't want to say thanks. You want to actually engage and ask questions and add more information to the conversation. And when they like or comment on your post, you want to comment back. Keep that conversation going. It's still okay to like, it just doesn't have as much power as commenting. And make sure you're following people. You're going to follow your clients. You're going to follow your competitors. You're going to follow the industry gurus, whoever is in your industry, but make sure you're following people. And all of those combined helps your authority and helps with the algorithms based on in those platforms on how often your posts are going to be shown and how popular, so to speak, you'll become on that particular platform, because you're engaged, you're involved, as opposed to every once in a while throwing it out there. So I'm going to stick with engagement as queen.
All right. Okay. Engagement. All right. We got storytelling. We got engagement. John, it's on you.
Okay. So if content marketing is king, now I'm pretty sure about this one. Distribution is queen and will continue to be queen, not only in 2022, but probably for years to come, because the bottom line is your reach is critical. Distribution is the vehicle, and essentially it's all about multiplying that content and magnifying it. People got to hear it. And so a couple of examples. One example is what we're doing here today with the Digital Factor program. It's all about live streaming broadcasts these days, and live streaming is really popular because of its authenticity and because it gives you a chance to even connect with the content creator. If you look at how popular live stream is today, just see things like YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live Rooms, and of course, LinkedIn Live.
And don't forget Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces and all of those other
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It isn't going to stop. And just look at the numbers. They're projecting 184 billion live streaming cases by 2027. And 63% of millennials are already making it a habit of watching live stream. And who knows what it is for Gen Z? It's probably only live stream. So that's just one example. Another big example that I'm keeping an eye on is the creator economy as a massive content distributor. If you look at them, there's over 50 million professionals and amateurs across YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook who are just engaging in their passion, but they've found they can monetize their content creation. And it really becomes their dream job, because not only are they doing what they love, they've become huge social media influencers. And in addition to that, you got companies like Substack or Patreon who are finding ways to monetize the work these creators are doing. Just in 2021, $1.3 billion in funding for this creator economy group has taken place. So you can get a sense for the kind of power we're looking at. So bottom line, creator power is getting very strong, and major brands are constantly looking and seeking out partnerships with these creators. In 2021, in the world of makeup and skincare, a company we all know, Clinique, they partnered with a creator whose name was Jazzy Sullivan. Now, Jazzy had 160,000 followers, 6.7 million likes. So it was the right partner. Together, they launched this skin positivity campaign on TikTok, and they called it Zits Happen. It's all about acne. And we've all been there, right? And hopefully not you, Kelly. The rest of us maybe. Anyway, it was a massive success, 9.6 billion views. And the audience loved it because it had an empowering message. It was all about don't be ashamed to live your life just because you have a few zits. And so depending on your business, I think we all need to keep an eye out on these creative influencers out there and hitch a ride to their wagon, because it could be a key part of your success. Now, I want to hand it over to our key creator in the group. Kelly is the natural creator on the Digital Factor team. Kelly, who's your queen in the content world?
Well, for me, if content is king, then authenticity is queen, and she wears the crown. I mean, I think that you all bring valid points, and even our extended audience, and keep commenting. I think this is all great input. But for me, when I think about authenticity, all branding, and DeMarco, my student, kind of alluded to that. It starts with your branding, and so the more you're comfortable about your branding and understanding who it is you are, then stemming for that and understanding now who can your brand help, who are they, where are they, what are they going through, what are they thinking. As long as you understand that and you can be authentic to that, your content almost creates itself. But more importantly, you know what you can do and what you can't do. I know for Generation Z, this sticks out to me a lot because my understanding is, and I'm going to deviate a little bit. I think influencer marketing is good. Done right is excellent in your clinique. Done wrong, not so much. If you pick the wrong partner, if that partner doesn't really use your brand, but they're just being your endorser, then Gen Z will sniff that out in a heartbeat, and you will waste all of your marketing dollars behind it. But rather, you might look at some affiliate marketing. When I say affiliate marketing, it's basically what Vic talked about. You have somebody who's an expert doing things, and they happen to use your product, and you want people to go from them straight to you. I know a couple of examples that one, the holiday season's coming up. Every woman I know is looking for Oprah's holiday list. When it came out, okay, what do I want to buy? But she's really authentic. She's authentic to that, right? She's not showing you anything that she's not using. And that's when affiliate marketing really works, and we trust her. We trust her bringing. I know for us, when we were starting LinkedIn Live, to give you guys a little peek behind the curtain, we investigated this, and we started looking at YouTubers who were doing video to understand what we needed to buy, what was important, lighting, sound, and we all have a little bit of microphone envy when it comes to John. He really took it all very seriously. But again, it's authenticity, knowing yourself, knowing your brand, and then promoting according to that. I think you're going to win. And so I don't see anything else out in the chat. So I just wanted to kind of tie this all up. We've really talked about, I think, 4 important things, right? So we started with storytelling, we went to engagement, and then to distribution and authenticity. Let's have a little fun with it. I'm going to out on the digital factor, and you guys can follow us out there. I'm going to throw a poll up and have you guys vote on which one you think is the most important. I might even throw in they're all important just for kicks and giggles.
Save our feelings.
Exactly. To see what that looks like. But I know we have a couple things coming up. One announcement that I'm really excited about is that next Monday, we are going to announce, in the spirit of Cyber Monday, we're going to do a giveaway. You won't want to miss it. Something really exciting that you'll want to be able to get in line for. So we'll just tune in 12 o'clock on next Monday. We'll do that. And then I know also coming up in December, we're going to have episode 3 of the Digital Factor, and we're going to talk about a really important topic, which is algorithm changes in some of the social media platforms. I know we already started to take a look at it. It's pretty dense, and we're going to give you information, not just that the algorithm changes, but what does that mean for you and your business? So you'll want to tune in for that. We'll see if that ends up being 3 and 4 or just 3, but it will definitely be 3. So stay tuned for us. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving and just trying to get the audience to know us just a little bit more, I have a question for you guys. Thanksgiving's coming. I know it's already happened for you, John, but what's your favorite dessert? John, what's yours?
Well, this year and every year in the past, probably 5 or 6 years, the queen in our household is pumpkin pie.
Love it. What about you, Vic?
I have to go with pecan pie, but I love all pies.
Yummy. What about you, Jim?
Mine's not traditional, maybe for Thanksgiving, but apple pie. How about you, Kelly?
Apple pie is yummy. I'm from the South, a Southern peach over here, so I'm gonna go with sweet potato pie. Stick with pies. They're all good though. All good. Well, it's been a joy. Episode 2, check done.
Yeah, in the books.
All right.
Lot of
Thanks,
fun.
everyone. And thanks for joining us for the Digital Factor. Again, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and also on Twitter, but drop the R. The Digital
Factor,
Drop the O.
Oh,
The
Factor.
Digital Factor. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Cool.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Great holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.